Hello, everyone. I'm Bishop Eric Kincaid Clark, and welcome to the Bishop Clark Show. Boy, we got a lot of rain and thunder outside. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's loud to me. God is good, and this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give God thanks and praise every single day. That's what I'm going to do. The Bishop Clark Show is going to be inspiration. It's going to be information. It's going to be revelation. It's going to be funny. We're going to have a good time, but we're going to converse and talk through it today. Flanking me, Minister Brunson Landrum. Welcome to the show, Brunson.
Thank you for the invitation, sir.
Yeah, it's good to have you, and we're going to be talking through some things. I don't even know if this is your strong suit. Let me give my disclaimer right up front to today's subject matter, politics. We're going to be talking through politics. Why do you love or hate President Trump is our subject matter today. Why do you love or hate President Trump? And I want to talk about that. And I use the term hate a little bit for shock value. Maybe we'll get some more views, but we don't promote hate on any level. He that hates is not of God. But just for conversation's sake, I have never seen in a political race, and I'm not a very political, I just don't get into it that heavy, but I have never seen so many people love President Trump,
yes,
as many, or at the same time, so many people hate. And again, I'm using that term very lightly, President Trump. I've just never seen it. I mean, on one side, he is an angel. On the other side, he is the devil. How can a person be so loved and hated at the same time? How can a person be so embraced and rejected at the same time? And that is our president, President Donald Trump. And he's running again for his second term. And, all these, I guess the convention, the Republican convention has just recently gone off. About a week ago, we had the Democratic convention. So you got the Joe Biden against, it looks like it's a toe-to-toe battle between two older white gentlemen.
There you go.
We've seen this play out before. Nonetheless, what is it that you like or dislike about President Donald Trump? Let me say that you can do some fact checking and that kind of stuff, because I want you to know, I'm going to broad stroke some things, make some very general statements, but not give a lot of specifics because I'm not sure on all the specifics. So you can fact check and check it out yourself. And one of the reasons that I'm having this show today, Brunson, is to get people to read, to get people to research, and to be informed. You know, we have spent for years, a lot of energy in getting people to vote. I mean, in the church, in our community, vote, get out and vote, get out and vote. And we're talking about years and years and years ago, where people stood in line, people marched, people protest. They fought real hard for our rights as African Americans to vote. And so that was like one hurdle. But then you have people that are going to vote, and they'll simply vote the Democratic Party. Everybody that's on the Democratic ticket, they'll just check. Or they'll vote everybody that's on the Republican ticket for a lot of people that are Republican. But the Bible says, in all of your getting, get an understanding. And there are a lot of people that vote without any understanding. And today, I think we're going to find out some people love Trump without understanding, and other people's hate President Donald Trump without understanding. Wow. And I'm going to monologue a little bit, and you can give me a little perspective And I'm really, I want those that are watching to comment, to give us some information, to correct us, even if we give some information that some people, for the most part, they are not. I'm doing business in Afghanistan. These people are texting me right now, and I need to send this back. Brunson, right off the rip, what is your perspective of our topic today?
I think politics are very important in our everyday life.
Okay.
John the Baptist was killed based on politics. He spoke out against the man that was in charge. He didn't like it, and he made sure John the Baptist was murdered for it. The people in charge didn't like Jesus. He was messing up their money, so they made sure that he got killed.
Yeah.
And even in the case of the taxes, Jesus said, "Give Caesar's what's Caesar's." You need to pay your taxes even if you're saved. So Jesus went and made some money real quick so that he could pay him.
Yes.
So we are in the land. We have to abide by the laws of the land.
Yep.
We have to pray for the people that are in leadership. I mean,
Yep.
we can go on and on. The Bible references are there. Making sure that we even in the on Sunday we learned about if you're in Babylon, you have to learn how to live in Babylon.
You gotta learn.
Go ahead and set some things up so that you can have a bright future, even in the place that you're in. So politics are very important, and I didn't really care a lot about politics until Donald Trump came down that escalator. It was the realization.
Really?
Yeah.
It wasn't President Barack Obama that did it for you.
It was not.
Well, he really, President Barack Obama was the person that really, made me pay a little bit more attention.
Absolutely.
But for you?
I think I grow in discomfort. So when I had President Barack Obama, whose only scandal was wearing a tan suit, I sat back and I enjoyed his presidency.
His only scandal.
His only scandal was wearing a tan
man.
suit. He spent a little money to fly out to New York for a date night, and the Republicans, Fox News had a field day about that.
Yeah.
But we have a president now that goes golfing and makes sure that he has all of his events at his property so he can still make money while he's the president of the United States. So it's a completely different situation. But like I said, I felt safe when Obama was in office, but because I grow in discomfort, it was like, I have to learn more about this to try to keep him out of office. Even though that didn't work, I'm still trying to find a way that I can grow and still be, recession and pandemic proof, with the current president.
Well, let me say, and thank you for that view, and I welcome your view, because there will be some people that communicate they like President Donald Trump, and there'll be others that say they don't like him. I want you to know that this show is not here to promote one view or the other. I might give a little bit of my slant on different things, but I'm not trying to turn people against our president. Neither am I trying to gather people towards him. I just want to create a platform for conversation. Why do people love him so much? Why do people hate him so much? And again, I use that term hate with an asterisk just for conversation's sake. Now, I put up a site this morning, and I'm gonna reference the site. But what have Donald Trump done for America? Why should people like him so much? First of all, let me talk about a couple things that I really do like about our president. Number one, he is an unconventional politician.
Okay.
He's not the regular run-of-the-mill, by the book. He comes out of a business field, and he brings to the political arena a breath of fresh air. In my opinion, he may not be the most educated man. He may not be the most articulate person, but he's not the regular run-of-the-mill politician. I like that he has created better trade deals for America. He has been tougher against the likes of China for years. We have been doing business with foreign countries, and he has been a lot tougher with these companies that are bringing their wares to America and that are taking and receiving wares. Can you imagine they're paying a 2% tax on our stuff that's going to them, and we're paying 16% tax on stuff that's coming from them.
Gotcha.
So he has been, he's come in and he's changed a lot of that and got us better deals. He's brought jobs back to America.
Okay.
Before he was president, a lot of the companies would move to other countries for their corporate offices. They would even sub out and employ a lot of people overseas. They still do it, but not as much because President Trump has penalized companies for taking their business out of the country and have incentivized companies to come back. Not only that, but he's changed. And the reason that a lot of companies will get out of this country is because the taxes are so hard for corporate America. He has lowered them significantly. I think they were up to 30-something, 35, 37% taxes. Now they're somewhere down around 22% taxes that they have to pay. For instance, even myself being an employer, payroll taxes have been lowered under Trump. Now, I'm gonna make a point, and I don't know how this is gonna offend people or how people are gonna take it. For people that live in poverty, it almost don't make no difference who president.
Period.
It doesn't make any difference to you. Like, you're not impacted. So you have a lot of people who are impoverished that they say, I'm not voting because my vote don't matter. No, it doesn't matter to you, because on the lowest level, you're just on the lowest level. No matter who is president, you're just on the lowest level. And one of the best things that can happen for those that have small thinking or that lack education is there's an opportunity for education or minimum wage goes up.
Yes, sir.
But jobs have come back to America. That's a good thing under President Trump. He's lowered the payroll taxes. He's done some prison reform, some clemency, some,
Yes,
not
sir.
all,
Yes,
but some. There's been some changes. There are some reforms that he and his administration has made with the penal institution that I don't like. They've gone back to the private sector. It used to be, the private sector is all about making money.
Absolutely.
And that's a whole nother conversation. But there's some good. And I'm on the good right now. And that is, he's created avenues for billions of dollars to come to historical black colleges. There are those, Brunson, that would argue President Donald Trump has done more for the African American community than any other president before him, including President Barack Obama. And there are some statistics that bear it out in some settings.
Yes, sir.
There are programs that have been created for businesses in our communities. Again, this doesn't affect those impoverished because they're just looking for a job.
Absolutely.
But billions of dollars going to colleges. This is a good thing. How about America is now the largest producer of oil?
Wow.
Under President Donald Trump.
Yes, sir.
Have you noticed the gas prices?
About $2.15, $2.09,
$2 a gallon.
Yeah,
Can you imagine that? Where go back 3 years, $4.50 a gallon.
Right. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you had to figure out. I remember filling up my car at one point was like $120.
Wow.
Now I can fill it up for about $60.
Yes, sir.
Amazing.
Big difference.
But that's under Donald Trump. Donald Trump changed that dynamic that has caused America to become the #1 oil producer in the world. We are not prey to the oil that's coming from Iraq and Egypt and all. No, we on our own. Not only that, but minimum wage and entry level pay has been increased. Federal employees' their pay has been increased. He has brought home a whole lot of soldiers in the military. I don't know if people know that America has, I don't know these numbers, but a large numbers of military spread out all over the world.
Yes, sir.
Trump comes in and say, you know what? We've been here for 3 years. That's long enough. We've been here for so many years. That's long enough. We're going to bring some of the troops home. We're going to bring them home. There's controversy. Again, I don't know all the ins and outs of that. I don't know if all of that is good or if it's just good from the standpoint of
they're at least coming home.
Yeah, the kids coming home, man.
Yeah.
I think the kids coming home is a good thing. How about what President Donald Trump has done, if you do some reading, on partnering with Canada so that America can receive a lot of drugs that have brought down significantly
Yes, sir.
the cost of drugs,
Yes, sir.
prescription drugs.
Yes, sir.
That's Donald Trump. I put up this one site where it said 125 incredible things
Wow.
that Donald Trump has done, and yeah, it's just incredible. So these are some good things. And I want to hear from you. If you're watching today, would you make a comment? Would you make a question? Would you make a concern? Would you do some fact checking? Add to it. Challenge it. Because we just want to converse.
Absolutely.
I'm not coming from a definitive standpoint, but I just want to create some conversation. Because there's so many people that, for lack of a better word, they hate Donald Trump. They hate his policy. They hate this White House and this administration. And again, that word, very soft with that word. But a lot of people don't know this.
Yes, sir.
They don't know that the world that they live in a lot of regards, is a little bit better for those that are about that money.
Absolutely.
Trying to make some money. And that's you.
Yes, sir.
That's me.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Let's go on the other side of that. Well, before I jump on the other side of that, Brunson, what are your thoughts about some of the things I just shared? Did you know those things?
Gotcha.
Is that eye-opening to you? Or what stands out on that list to you?
Well, let's see. I think minimum wage increasing is very important.
Okay.
But I think I understand the cons of raising minimum wage, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years ago, I actually sang at a rally to get minimum wage increased, and my view on it changed after the fact.
Okay.
So I said yes to singing, but then I really thought about what I was singing about.
Okay.
There was someone on the news, and he worked at KFC, and he worked as a chef,
Cook.
preparing the chicken, a cook. And so he was telling the camera, I want to be able to feed my family on my salary. I need you to raise the minimum wage.
Right.
At that time, I worked at a bank, and my salary was $12 an hour.
Okay.
I thought, well, what's stopping me from quitting my job so I can get an easier job because minimum wage is $15 an hour? They would actually take you the opposite direction, where people are wanting to get something with less stress, less education, because they can get paid more in some cases.
Right.
I believe that America, which is capitalist, and sometimes it can be toxic capitalism, but I believe we should always reward the work. We should always reward education. And so I believe to a certain extent, raising minimum wage may cause people to stay away from education. It may cause them to stay away from training. But because of the way inflation works, unfortunately, with everything being more expensive, maybe minimum wage does need to increase. There's something called anchoring, and anytime I mention going to get a Pepsi, my grandfather says, Pepsi used to cost a nickel. Granddad, Pepsi doesn't cost a nickel anymore because of inflation.
Right.
So I used to go get heavy bread from the store. It was only a quarter. You can't get bread pudding for a quarter anymore. It costs $9. The thing is, because everything is rising, minimum wage may need to increase, but we also need to reward people that want to work harder and learn more.
And some of those issues that you bring up, Brunson, are not directly related to the president.
Yes, sir.
But it's amazing how people have views about the president, good or bad, and not have knowledge on that fuels one thing or another. You know what? Sometimes people like you because they like you and don't because they don't. I got people don't like me. And I'm saying, what's not to like?
Right.
What did I do to you? What did I say? They mad about this, whatever. People just choose not to like you. They don't like, the way you look. They don't like the way you dress. They don't like the confidence that you operate in. They don't like your success. They don't like, whatever it is, the flavor that you bring for no reason at all. It's their particular choice. They choose not to. And I think that sometimes this happens even with the president. They like him because of whatever they like, or they don't because they don't. And sometimes a lot of people, especially in our community, they don't read, they don't get knowledge and understanding. I'm wondering, Lenora's walked in, are the people talking? Or is there conversation? Is there anybody that's got anything to say about it? President Trump has done some pretty,
But I'm definitely grateful that insulin definitely came down by a lot. Yes, significantly. Anyone that is troubled with diabetes,
Right.
you shouldn't have to choose whether you want to eat or have insulin.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
with the prescription drugs coming down, if there is a COVID-19 vaccine, we already got a promise. Based on the government, that it will be an affordable price, for anyone that actually wants to take it. So, the cost of prescription drugs coming down, that's definitely a great thing.
That's a good thing. Okay,
Yes,
let's see if we can go on the other side. I see a couple comments coming in, and we'll address them in just a moment. All right. You love President. You love President. Okay, you just like that part of the show. We're going to flip the other side of the show now. There are a lot of people that say they don't like President Donald Trump because he's racist.
Okay.
They'll say, based on what they see, how he stands with the white supremacists, his posture, even with the KKK, his stance on building a wall to keep all the foreigners out and things of that nature, and
foreigners, people of color.
Okay, so because he's not keeping the Russians out, he's not keeping.
No.
Okay, but there are those that would suggest President Donald Trump is a racist. Then there are those that would say, well, he grabs women's vagina. I got another word in here, but vagina. So, he made that comment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's the sexual harassment claims. Over 20 some odd sexual harassment claims, while every other CEO in America that's got these Me Too movements, they out. They fired, their pay is cut, TV personalities, actors, producers, CEOs, corporate America, politicians. He touched me. He touched me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you out.
Yes,
Yet all these claims against him, and I don't know, I guess they get paid off, however that goes.
Got it.
They say that they don't like him because he has no diplomacy, no class. He's not presidential. They say that they don't like him because he lies often. Like he'll just not stretch the truth, just lie. And then there are those that say they don't like him because his business practices are bad. There are those that understand that he does not relate to the common man. I mean, when you come on the scene and your dad give you $100 million, how much did your dad give you?
Not $100 million.
My dad, I think he cost me $100 million. No. My dad didn't give me $100 million either.
Yes,
But when you come on the scene, your dad give you $100 million, your perspective of life is very different. So there are a lot of people that say he doesn't identify with the working man, like going to work and making a wage and trying to figure out your bills, and he doesn't identify with that. And so he's doing some things, but really, really out of touch. And they say that his business practices are bad. Like if you go back, President Donald Trump, or prior to that, he was a billionaire, but a billionaire on manipulating a system.
Absolutely.
Not paying his taxes, manipulating a system of filing bankruptcy, manipulating a system where he would get in contracts with people and they would do the work, build his big casinos and hotels and things of that nature, and he would renege on paying them.
Absolutely.
And these business dealings would make it all the way to court, and he had more money than they had,
Yes,
and
sir.
so he would just dry them out.
You got it.
They couldn't really pay. Again, these things have been said. Hasn't handled the coronavirus well. Said there are thousands of people that are dead now because he didn't believe the science. He didn't react quick enough, and they just say he hasn't handled it well. Then there are those that say they don't like President Donald Trump because he hates President Barack Obama.
There you go.
I mean, they say, man, President Trump is spending his entire term trying to undo everything that President Barack Obama, whether it's good or bad, whether it's really helping our society or not, he just wants to undo it because, again, they say he's a racist and he just didn't have any love for the African-American president. And then there are those that says he's appointed his rich friends to be cabinet members.
Qualified
and
or not.
They are unqualified. They are uneducated. They just rich.
There you go.
Like the girl he put over the education
Betsy
system.
DeVos.
Yeah, they was vetting her. And they said, have you ever had to take out a loan for school? She said, loan? No. What's that? Have you ever had to take out a loan? Have any of your parents or your siblings or your children had to take out a loan for? She's like, no. No. They said, well, have you ever had to take out a loan for a house?
What is a loan?
Have we ever had to take out a loan for a car?
Right.
Do you know what a loan is? Not really.
Right.
I got the
I hear
ideal.
stories.
Yeah, I hear stories. But we're supposed to put you over loaning trillions of dollars to college students all over the land to get a loan, to qualify for loans, to manage loans. And they say this girl is running that segment in the ground.
Yes, sir.
But she's President Donald Trump's, so what qualifies you to be the superintendent of the education and overseeing the loan process? I'm Donald Trump's friend.
That's it.
And this scenario has played out time and time again, where you have unqualified people that are in positions simply because they are connected to President Trump. And again, this list goes longer. The other list goes longer. I want to talk to the people. I want to find out what are the people saying. I don't know, Brunson, what are your thoughts about some of the negative things? He's not diplomatic.
Right.
You know, I hear that, and I do cringe.
Yes,
sometimes he does things, he says things. I cringe a little bit, but I didn't vote him to be president or didn't want him to be president because of his decorum.
Okay.
I don't like him or dislike him because of the way he talks.
Okay.
I was hopeful, because I didn't vote for him, but I was hopeful that because he's a businessman, that some of that would translate to help our country, and it has. It literally has. But there's a lot of other challenging things, negative things that have come as well.
Absolutely.
Here we talked about this list of negative things. Have some of these things rubbed you wrong?
Absolutely. His Twitter account. Because he lies and because he uses Twitter as his press secretary, a lot of discussion has come out that doesn't need to be made public right away. From what I hear, now there was a statement that said because he received this loan that people couldn't get behind him. But I've also heard the statistic that because he speaks on an elementary grade level, people are actually able to relate to him better than this very smart, very educated woman president that was, Hillary Clinton, that wanted to be president. A lot of people felt like she was speaking down to them.
Right.
He goes to West Virginia and he promises that clean coal is coming back.
Okay.
But there's no such thing as clean coal. And number two is 2020. Nobody's going back to coal. So that lie got people behind him, and got him helped get him into the office. But it was something that he wasn't able to deliver on. Even with his immigration reform, I came to find out that a lot of immigrants don't come over here from the border. They get a work visa, they fly over, and then they overstay their visa. So a wall won't help if people are flying over the wall.
Yeah, but there is a large influx. I have preached down in Texas. I've been down on the border, California. There's a lot of immigrants that have come, undocumented immigrants that have come to America. And there needs to be some order and some control, and we need to certainly police our borders. At the same time, we got to be humane about it, because the way that some of the things went, it's just not going the best ways. You see families separated. You see kids in cages. You see, that's some intense stuff. So you got a lot of people out there, and I really want y'all to share. Y'all got to share, like. And this is what happens with me. Let me tell you what happens, B. I get phone calls from St. Louis or from California or from New York, and they say, "Man, I watch your show. Man, your show is the bomb. It needs to be syndicated, man. You need to be on national TV talking through it and this, that, and the other. Adding a Christian flavor to some of the hot topics of our day." And I said, "That's wonderful. That's great." But you know what? We have a lot of people that listen, that watch, that view, but they don't really get behind it and make it go. Blow the show up. If y'all think that we have something that could benefit our community, blow it up. Share it, like it, and then participate. B, I got people watching, won't comment. They won't comment because they don't want anybody to know this is what they think or this is what they said. Y'all got to grow up.
Yes, sir.
Y'all got to grow up. When I was a child, I thought I was a child. Cayman, man, you got to put away the childish things. Be who you are. Stand by your words. Stand by your questions. And even if it's something that you don't quite understand, say it. Hey, I'm hosting the show, and I can tell you right now, I am not a political guru. I'm not a guy that reads all of this stuff that's going on with all these current affairs and issues that's coming out of the White House, happening around the White House and around the Republican Party or Democratic Party. I ain't on that stuff.
Yes, sir.
I do vote, though.
Absolutely.
I do vote, and I have an opinion, and I am impacted and affected, I should say, by the policies that go forth.
Yes,
but
sir.
it's something, Brunson, I want to revisit this statement I made earlier, that on the lowest level of poverty, people that don't have jobs, people that are looking for a handout from the government for welfare, and some people do need it, but coming up, I watched hundreds of people manipulate that system.
Absolutely.
I watched hundreds of people getting 3 and 4 checks, having babies to get more checks,
Right. Yes, sir.
getting, what was it,
Welfare
welfare
queens.
checks and food stamps, selling them.
Yes, sir.
Selling them. I mean, I watched people manipulate that, forget about it,
Absolutely.
and they were just lazy, slowful, and criminal.
Absolutely.
Just lazy, slowful, and criminal. Thank God that presidents, even President Barack Obama, and of course with President Donald Trump, has done a lot of changes and reformed those things. And some folk mad. Some folk mad because they ain't got no money to manipulate the system. Right. You got to go get a job now, or you got to work so many hours to get a check, or you got to go fill out applications. I mean, there's requirements, things that you got to do. You're not just going to sit back, relax, make babies.
Yes, sir.
And get money.
Yes, sir.
And I can appreciate that. I appreciate that. But on the lowest level, people are not impacted by who is president and who is not president.
Yes, sir.
When you broke, you just broke.
Absolutely.
Like, what do they care that the taxes are up or down?
If
they
you don't
broke.
pay taxes.
Yeah, if you don't pay tax, what do you care about payroll taxes if you don't own a business?
Yes, sir.
What do you care about should you take your business out of the country or in the country if you have no business?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, people say, well, he's the rich people's president. Yeah, he has done a lot to benefit those who are wealthy, but he has also done a lot to help those who are trying to come up. Get a little higher.
Absolutely. And even in the morality side, there are a lot of one-issue voters that believe that the issue of abortion...
One-issue voters.
Yeah, the issue of abortion
I like that.
outweighs the fact that he seems to be an immoral person, not to cash in any judgment, even with the Jerry Falwell situation.
You know what, B? I want you to hold that, put
Yes,
a pin right in that.
Yes,
it's
sir.
right at 10:32 here. I'm going to take a break, come back, and put Brunson right on the hot plate again, amen, as he's speaking to the issue. And I can look at, during this break, I can take a look at what y'all are saying. I want you to say something. Do you love the president? Do you hate the president? Do you love the policies or hate the policies? Are you Democratic? Are you Republican? I mean, I just want some conversation. I'm not mad at nobody, not pushing any agenda. Just want to chop it up with you. I'm Bishop Clark. Keep it locked right here. Would y'all consider helping me empower deserving students? Y'all sow some money. Get $10, $20, $50, $100, even $1,000, and help me impact the lives of young students. Do it today. All right, education creates opportunity. Keep it locked right here. I will be right back. For our subject matter, the forecast is changing. That the sovereignty of God doesn't mean God is programming us like we are machines and puppets on the string, that you have no say-so in the plan of God for your life. He has laid out steps in front of the children, but they have to walk in them. And at any given point, they could choose to go left or choose to go right, and it will dramatically alter the future.
Hey Baca, join us for prayer, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. John 15:7 says, "If ye abide in me, and my word abide in you, ask what you will, and it shall be done unto you." The phone number to join is 712-775-8968. The PIN code is 304282.
If you're looking for a venue to host your next event, look no further. We have the right place for you. Here at the Body of Christ Assembly, you can reserve our space for graduation celebration, for a bridal shower, a church meeting, a baby shower, small banquets, birthday celebrations, luncheons, business meeting, and so much more. Create your venue today by contacting us again at 216-475-6327 or email us at bacarental@baca1.org. Reserve your space today.
Praise the Lord, everybody. I am Bishop Eric Kincaid Clark, and we talking through it today. I can't do that. We're talking through it today. President Donald Trump, I like him. I love him. I don't like him. I hate him. I just want to figure out, do y'all like him? Do y'all hate him? What's to like? What's not to like? I read through a few comments. What has he done for Black America? Was he done for Black America? Was it done for Black America? I get it. You know, when you're the president of the entire America. There's a bigger middle class, lower middle class in America than any other sector in America. The rich are the smallest, but the poor is a lot of poor people.
Absolutely.
A lot of poor people. And so if you're the president, you're not just the president for the rich, no matter what color they are. But let me tell you, the more money you have, the more different the world that you live in is.
Absolutely.
Bronson.
Absolutely.
Bronson.
Absolutely.
I have been to some of the most indigent places, impoverished places in America. But even beyond our shores, I've seen poverty. Mm-hmm. I've seen poverty that made me feel different about prostitution.
Gotcha.
I've been in Liberia, and it's women, girls, they do what they got to do to live.
Yes, sir.
And if you have never been in an environment like this, you can sit on your high horse and turn your nose up and act like, whatever, I ain't going. Okay, well, you sit there and you ain't eating and your baby ain't eating, and but you can eat and your baby could not die if you do this. There would be some people out there that would be surprised at what they would do. Right. I've been in those situations. But at the same time, I've been around people, multimillionaires on yachts, private planes, own big real estate stuff. Like the last thing on their mind is a couple $1,000 or $100,000. Right. Like I remember, I just was in a conversation a couple weeks ago, and somebody said that some capitalists had funded a young man with what did they give him? $50 million and he blew it. And they all laughed. They said, all right, you're learning now. As soon as you come back again, we're going to give you another 50 million. See how you do with that.
Wow.
I mean, it's a different world.
Wow.
It's a different world. The world is different based on not just how much money you have, but who you know and what you know and do you know how to maneuver. And so, man, that's a real thing that, growing from poverty, even a poverty mentality, the difference between having $1 and having $1,000, $100,000, $1 million, it changes a lot of things. And there are some people that would tolerate all of the nonsense and shenanigans that they don't like about Donald Trump if they were millionaires.
Absolutely. Yeah, for me, I'm learning that money means options. When you were growing up and you drive past McDonald's, hey mom, can I have some McDonald's? She asks, do you have McDonald's money? In other words, is McDonald's an option based on how much money you have?
Right.
And so your only option is eating at home. So a lot of people don't have money, so they don't have options. They can't stay in the 4- or 5-star hotel.
Sure.
It's not an option for them,
right?
Because they don't have the money to finance that,
right?
And so, even in this case, they're going for the person that will provide for them because they don't already have options.
Well, if you're a company and your company is generating $50 million a year. You got insurances you got to pay. You got taxes you got to pay. You got employees you got to pay. You got all this kind of stuff. And if under one president, you're paying almost 40% of the money that you make out.
Right.
And then here comes President Donald Trump, and all of a sudden that 40% of the money that you're paying out is reduced to 17%, 18, 20% with the incentives. Man, you sort of like, but he's not that, his diplomacy is not that good. He tweet too much, hey, he just saved me about $18 million. It just changes for you tremendously. And I'm in the market. I want to make some money. I got some stuff out here. I'm trying to sell some product and some inventions and things of that nature for millions of dollars. And if all of a sudden I'm presented with a $5 million profit that I got to pay taxes on, man, do I want to pay almost $2.6 million in taxes? Well, that's a little high, but almost, let's say $2 million in taxes, or do I want to pay $1 million in taxes?
Right.
Okay, I don't want to pay none in taxes.
Period.
So I really need to be a close friend of President Donald. I need to go golfing with President Donald Trump so I don't have to pay no taxes like President Donald Trump.
Go. But don't hang out with him in the van. But you can't hang out with him at the hotel. You can't hang out with him at Ghislaine Maxwell, what is Jeffrey Epstein's house. You got to keep that distance.
Woo!
But yeah, at the same time.
You open it up.
Yes, sir.
So do you love him? Do you hate him? Do you like the policy? You hate the policy? What are the people saying? Brunson, you started in on a conversation before we went to break. Can you pick that up for us?
Absolutely. There are a lot of people that are one-issue voters. Because he is pro-life, they're saying that's the will of God. That's the kingdom of God coming. So because this party, Republicans are against abortion, I'm Republican, go Trump. That's it.
And this party is for choice. I hate it. Right. And a lot of people hear that wrong. They think Democrats are for abortion. They're not for abortion. They're for having a choice. Now, you know what my stance on that is? God is pro-choice.
I believe it.
He gives us the choice to be saved or not. He gives us the choice to serve him or not. He gives us the choice to do whatever we want to with our body. Make it fat, make it skinny, abuse it with drugs, alcohol, or even abort the baby that's inside of it. God doesn't stop you from He doesn't take our choice away.
Absolutely.
And so I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice. If I wasn't pro-choice, I would make all of the 2,000, more like 7,000 members that have joined this church over 30 years come to church.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Pay their tithes, support the work so we can impact this community on a greater level. But no, you got choice. You can't control.
And
what say you, B?
There would be no tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
No choice.
If there was no choice.
Yeah, why'd he put that there?
Because God doesn't like robots. He wanted someone that would choose to serve him, that would choose to love him, that would choose to obey him.
One-issue voters. I like that.
That's it.
That's not a good thing.
I don't believe so at all.
Yeah, you need to really figure it out. Read, study, Get some, and here's the other thing. Everything you read is not true.
That's so
Do
true.
you know you can find one issue and you can find the greatest argument on this side
Right.
and the most wonderful argument on the other side?
That's so
You
true.
got people that say they got the proof on this side. You got other people say they got the proof against it. So you really got to do your homework before you go to the polls. And it's, you know what, it's a lot. I saw one of the comments, somebody said, why don't we hold our local politicians to, why don't you hold your local policy? You know, people like to push things off on somebody else, and you got to get involved. I understand my assignment. Bronson, I am not called to run for the presidency of the United States of America.
Yes, sir.
That ain't my call.
Yes, sir.
I'm not called to run as a mayor. I am not called to be a political leader. I ain't called to do that.
Right.
I'm called to preach the gospel, heal the sick, raise the dead, cast the devil out, and prophesy, lay hands. I know, train leaders. I'm a spiritual leader. But when you have a conviction about something, like, why aren't they doing this? Or why? That's because you got a burden for it. That's yours.
It's yours. Yeah.
That's yours. And don't be mad at people that are not doing what you have a burden for. Yeah, I had to learn that, man. Stay in your lane.
Absolutely. Yeah, I scroll through social media a lot. I comment a whole lot less. And a group of words that I've seen a lot lately is, where's the outrage? Where's the protest? There won't be an outrage unless you start it. There won't be a protest unless you start it.
Very good.
If it's on your heart, you have to do the job. God put it on my heart to have a mentoring program. I'm studying so I can show myself approved for that mentoring program.
Right.
I'm not asking you or you why you're not doing my
Where
vision,
are all
my
the
dream.
mentors?
Come on, yeah. What would I look like? You know what? I need to make sure I get that and I put that into action.
I like
Instead of
that.
wondering where the outrage
Good
is.
stuff. All right, let's hear from the people. Let's go. Pastor Noor, you got anything? You said you're sitting there with us. What do you got? What are the people saying? Do they love Trump? Do they hate Trump? And again, real light with the hate there, because anybody that hate is not of God. But I'm talking about, are they really for him? Are they really against him? What is it that they like? What is it that they don't like? What are they saying, Pastor?
He's decisive, doesn't speak
Divisive.
up. Divisive, excuse
I
me.
saw that.
Doesn't speak up for injustice of Black America. Seemingly praises white supremacists.
Yep.
Groups, tweets, weighs too much.
Yeah.
That's just for starters.
You know what? The media, and I have experienced this in my own life, and I am by no stretch a celebrity. I'm not famous. I'm not well known. Few people know me here and there. People report negative stuff.
Absolutely.
They don't talk about the positive stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, President Trump clears out the stuff in front of the church to come out for a photo op. He holds the Bible upside down, right? That's the headline news. That's a big news. But I would guarantee you there are 10 other great things that he's done, even possibly that day, don't make the news.
Right.
Nobody talks about, nobody this. And again, I'm not pushing for him. Neither am I standing against him. I'm just arguing the fact that, you know, even at times what we see, if you look at his administration, we have been trained to see the negative. We like who we like. I listen to people, they say, oh, LeBron James, they just start bashing him, right? And I'm saying, do you know anybody else that, you know, put $20 million in a school?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, do you know anybody else that had a game show giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars to unsuspecting people? Do you know anybody else that's doing that kind of stuff?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but he this, he that, the GOAT, they arguing about the
I
GOAT.
don't like the way he left in 2000.
They burned the jersey, man. Lord have mercy. The only reason I'm not in Miami, Florida right now is because it's raining.
Come on. I would have taken my talents to South Beach.
Oh my God. My God, everybody, most of the people watching in most, not all, but most would love to have a different experience and expand their platform, and people hate it for that. We are trained to see the negative. That's not a good thing, man.
Absolutely.
That's not a good thing. What else they got out there, Pastor Lenore?
What godly king or kingdom standards should we use when selecting a candidate to vote?
Okay, this is a good thing. This is a good thing. You know, when the righteous rule, the people are blessed. certainly leadership has a lot to do with the way things could go. Because certainly you can have leadership that pushes an agenda that really comes against the church, comes against freedom of speech and freedom of religion, things of that nature. So that's real good. At the same time, I want to bring a balance to that. Do you have people fill out an application that shares their moral standards, statutes, biblical beliefs, and faith when they come to do the wiring in your house as an electrician?
I don't care
Or
about that.
would you go through that same deal with a plumber?
Right.
When you go get your car fixed, do you? Hey man, my car's tick 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 tick. It's got, you hear that? Okay, before you touch my car, are you saved? Have you repented of your sins? Are you faithful to your wife? Okay. Have you ever been charged with this and that? And the other? You don't go through all that. You need a person that's qualified that could wire the house, do the plumbing, do the electrical. Now it's a good thing if they're a born again believer and this, that, and the other. But in my opinion, for that job, that's not my criteria. The presidency of the United States is another one of those things where if the righteous rule, if there is righteousness, justice, equity, fairness, if that kind of person is in leadership, that's good. My preference would be for them to be a born-again believer, a Christian, by all means. That's good. But that's not a prerequisite.
I hear you.
You got both politicians saying they're saved, they love God, they lead in prayer and this, that, and the other. It was very funny. President Trump, at one time, he was talking about he's a spiritual man, his faith, and this, that, and the other. And the person interviewing him said, well, would you quote, what is your favorite Bible verse?
Oh man, I love so many of them. So many of my favorites. So many.
He
It's just
said,
great. It's wonderful.
it's personal. It's very personal and private. He said, well, could you just quote any verse, even if it's not your favorite, just quote a verse, just one verse. It's like, no, don't. I don't want to, share my very personal faith with the world. I just thought it was a very funny moment.
Yes,
but that's not a game changer for me. That's not a deal whether or not you can quote the scriptures, because man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. You can have one candidate saying, I love the Lord, I praise the Lord, this, that, and the Lord could say, like he said in Isaiah, you honor me with your lips, but your heart is far from me.
Yes, sir.
The people that were judged worse were those that knew God and chose not to glorify him as God.
Yes, sir.
The people that were under judgment are those that, too much is given, much is required. Those sometimes we, the people of God, could be the most dangerous people on the planet when it comes to right standing with God. I don't know. That's just not a big thing. So what is that standard? Man, they do so much vetting, fact checking, like the lady that's running for the vice presidency, Kamala. They have checked her background. Ooh, they trying to bring up any little piece of dirt. She did this, she said that. 17 years ago, she did this. 26 years ago, she did that. Well, even with President Donald Trump, there's a lot of stuff that they brought up. But it's amazing that a lot of people overlooked a whole lot of stuff. They overlooked a lot of stuff because that's who they wanted. And I say they, I'm talking about a lot of the powers that be, and that is the money world. The money movers, the movers and shakers, the market makers, the CEOs, the big corporate people that are making $500,000 and more. Oh my God, these people.
And even the regular people that respond to fear. Because one of the arguments now is if Joe Biden gets into office, he's going to abolish the suburbs, which isn't even a thing. He's going to take all of your guns, which we don't have the power to do. So the regular people, quote unquote, that respond to fear will also be ones that.
And some would suggest that these lies are coming from the Republican camp,
right? Yes,
or
sir.
the White House.
Absolutely.
And you just got to do your fact checking. Pastor Lenore, what else you got? What are they saying out there? Do they love President Donald Trump? Do they hate him, his policy? What's going on?
This person is saying it's not how you start, but it's how you finish.
Okay.
There's still police brutality, racism, high unemployment, teachers are in fear of their lives, and he's lying about Biden, and until he cleans that up, what he needs to fulfill, he hasn't fulfilled the presidency.
Okay. Well, I don't know. That's a good opinion. It's good comments there. I don't know. I'm a leader on a microscopic level. Yet, if something happens in this church or in my purview of the authority, it all is blamed on me. I have someone that's responsible to say, clean this area of the church and mop the floor, and somebody walks through, they fall, they hurt themselves, or there's not a sign out to say the floor is wet. You know, man, somebody botched that up, but it comes back to me.
Absolutely.
I do know that when you're a leader, you are not directly responsible for every little thing, but it all goes to the top. So people will say, teachers are in fear of their life. That's the president's fault. There are protests everywhere and there's civil unrest. That's the president's fault. There's racism on the rise. That's the president's fault. I'm not the person to say that the president can't influence one thing or the other, but I am experienced enough to know that he is not responsible for everything.
Not for everything.
And there's sometimes I look at him and I'll look at what has just transpired or what he has said or what he doesn't say. And my opinion is, man, I would have done that different. Oh boy, I wish he would speak up and say that killing is wrong, or what the police are doing right here is wrong, or, you know, there's wrong, like, you know, there is the KKK and they're pushing, and the guy runs his truck into Charlottesville, and then the president comes down and said there's wrong on both sides. And we're saying there's good people on both sides. There's bad and good on, and that was not the best thing to say, but to blame him for that. For instance, there's a picture of a Caucasian man in light of the young man being shot.
Kyle Ringer, I forgot.
Yeah, he's got the gun, and they say he's a big Trump supporter. The president he's not responsible for who supports him, but it does, the conversation goes towards birds of a feather flock together. That people that have a tendency to not like African Americans, they're white supremacists, or they have these ideas that are impure and unrighteous, and all of a sudden they gravitate towards this leadership. It would suggest that there's some kind of comfort that they have in this presence. But that's not proof alone. That's not enough proof for me to say, this man is racist and this, that, and the other. I need other facts and other data that might be out there, that probably is out there, but that has to be proven. I just don't want to be a person, because now I'm doing a little media show. I don't call myself the news. I'm a talk show. But I do want to be fair, and I want to be factual. I want to be factual.
Influence plays a major part. If you tell me I should do something because of who you are to me, I'll listen. And if I love the president and I see a 49ers jersey over there kneeling during the national anthem, and I call him an SOB, that I just use my platform, my influence to fester my thoughts. If I see that African American people of color are acting up when I want to arrest them, maybe you should just take their head and just hit it up against the door before you put them in, because he had a whole row of cops behind him. So now I have to choose. They're not being tough enough. Now I have to choose, okay, do blue lives matter or do black lives matter? You know, because he's on the side of blue lives, not on the side of black lives. So with which is your perspective? Yeah. Well, based on the information that he's presented, we have cops that are definitely behind him, because even in defunding the police, they talk about, well, who are you going to call in these cases? Well, he's defunded Medicare. It doesn't mean he took all the money out of Medicare. It just means he reallocated some of the money to another place. So if we were to, quote unquote, defund the police, we wouldn't abolish them completely, but we would create a sector of peace officers, because not every situation needs someone to show up with a gun that doesn't have. I golfed just yesterday, and we just about out of time, with a police officer
that recently retired, 41 years, and served in every capacity of law enforcement. And I was asking him about the shooting. What was his thoughts? He said, well, a lot of the young police officers today come from a world of video games, playing, shooting, and they don't have people skill. They don't have conflict mediation skills. He said, when we came up, we had a fight on the basketball court, and the next day we were friends again, and the guys on my team. We knew through interacting with people how to resolve conflict. So you have a lot of young people that have come into the police academy because a lot of those middle management jobs have been cut out. Technology is changing the world. So you have a lot of people that would normally be in an office environment dealing with business or technology that are now on the police force. He said they don't have, policing is a people job. It's a communication job. It's a conflict mediation job. And he says a lot of these young police, and then some of them come back from the military. And that is a whole mindset.
Absolutely.
Where they come and man, they like trigger happy. They just got to shoot and want to shoot. And it's not a good mix. It was an interesting perspective. Maybe I'll have someone like that on the show to talk us through some of the things that we're dealing with in our day. Brunson, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure,
I've enjoyed our conversation, and Pastor Noah, thank you for your support as well. All those that have been watching, would you share, like, and just keep a conversation going. President Donald Trump, do you love him? Do you like him? And if you're a part of any community, the white community, the African-American community, or other, and you say, I don't like President Donald Trump, find out why. Do the research why. Don't just buy into the megabytes or the media bytes that come. Read, do some education. And then there are a lot of incredible facts, good things that President Donald Trump has done for America and even for the African-American community, for the religious community. Powerful stuff. All you got to do is read. It's right there. And there's good, there's bad. You got to decide. Be a godly man and a godly woman and vote your convictions. But by all means, vote. Get involved in the voting process and help further this ideology that you need understanding. Do some reading. Do some research and find out. Don't just buy into the concepts and ideas of the masses. Do your own research. Form your own opinions. All right? I'm Bishop Eric Kincaid Clark. Until next time. Peace to the family.
Peace to the bishop.